Yes, yes, we have all seen this commercial at some point in our life. Whether you played Wizard 101 or not, I'm here to tell you about the strange effect it has on its player base and why games like these are hard to come by. To put it simply, the Wizard 101 effect is the game's ability to bring back players who have quit the game or have taken breaks from it. As one of these players, I'll inform you how this happened. So I have separated the effects into the parts that play the biggest effect on grabbing your attention back. So what this means is there's different parts that I categorize that all have an impact on bringing your attention back to the game. The first one, the simple, easy to pick up game. Wizard 101 is really easy to learn and play, but the fun of it comes from grinding gear drops, exploring zones, and the storyline. While many people might disagree with this and might say like the gardening and the other stuff, like crafting, fishing is all the fun parts and the community, I will get to that point later. The leveling system is an equal feeling between worlds. So like other MMO games, when you hit higher levels, it takes longer and more of a grind to get to the next level. And honestly, that sucks in my opinion. It feels terrible having to play more to get less out of it. And Wizard 101 has an equal leveling system with higher amounts of XP, but you're getting the same progress. It takes the same amount of time to level up. Even though the worlds are a bit longer, they still feel comfortably paceable. And now you can argue Wizard 101 is a very repetitive game, but the change of zones and the grind to want to hit the gear grinds like level 30, level 60, 100, 130, like you have your um, Mount Olympus, you have Waterworks, you even have Tartarus, Darkmoor, and then Dragoon farming gear. Like, there's so many areas where players want to just grind to push to, and then they can feel like they can take a break. Like you're not forced into like having to end game right away because there's good areas where you can break and get the best level of gear for that area and just take a break honestly from playing the game as it's a very long game. And the fact that you don't even need to have the best stats to continue the game, it's nice. I mean, you like the enemies can become difficult, but like you never need to have the best gear. Like if you're just playing casually, then you can play casually. Like there's no rush to get good gear. And a lot of people like the ability to get good gear at the farming dungeons because it's unique and it's kind of exciting when you get a rare gear drop. I will also add on top of that adventure parties and team up has had such a big impact on keeping the player base, especially for non-competitive players or players who don't care about their gear, because they have the ability to not have to solo everything. And there's still a lot of people that are going around and just questing throughout all parts of the game. It's not feeling like a dead game. And this is all under my take of the general idea, like the simple, hard to master game. And another part I would add to this is that Wizard 101 doesn't use a mini map, but it uses a quest helper instead. And while you might not think this is a big impact, it's extremely beneficial in my opinion because it doesn't overwhelm you with having side quests, NPCs, or showing where NPCs are on a mini map. This makes you feel like you don't have to take side quests, and no good game should make you take side quests or should give you a benefit of taking side quests over doing the main quest. And in Wiz, the main quest really has the benefit, and then I guess you can have the training quest or the training point quest, but the training point quests are extremely unique because it's like hide and go seek. It's like you're finding something, so there's a unique aspect of it that's not repetitive, like farming mobs, dropping collects, bosses. It's a unique aspect which makes them work. And there's no race or competition to the end game. While doing new worlds on the new day is hype, there's no rush to get to the next max level because there's so much to enjoy when you're questing to hit max level. Sometimes it's just nice to take a break in between worlds and you're not even in the middle of worlds because they're so long, like Chrysalis. But the game does a great job at breaking up the main quest line and it allows people to take breaks. You can like take a break and come back to the game and be fine. Like you're not gonna miss out on anything. They're not changing the world, so it's pretty nice. This is kind of a lot of information for just the like how simple and complex the game is, but there are many more details that you could bring to the table too that go in this section. However, I'm going to move to the next section now, which is I say kind of put it as design elements, housing, gardening, pet training, fishing, crafting. They all require you to be an active player or like someone who like wants to check the game like I don't know, once a week, four times a month, same thing or just every day. But you can log on once every day, check your garden, and basically the game's keeping your attention. You might not be doing the main quest line, but you're still on the game playing. And these elements, while they serve the purpose of keeping the players on the game, it's different because they all these systems, all these elements, they go hand in hand. Like I know monstrosity farming, like you have to farm, like you have to have main quest line done to be able to farm mobs for it, and then that goes into housing that you need them to place housing elements. So all these things go hand in hand. So if you really want to get like good at one thing in the game, like if you want to have best houses, you need to have the main storyline unlocked, and then you have to have like you probably want decent gear if you're farming mobs over and over. So they makes you go through multiple aspects to get good at one aspect of the game. And this is I would say this is pretty unique to Wizard 101. I know probably a lot of MMOs have similar systems to this, but I think it works really well in Wizard 101. And going on that point, there's jewel farming and then there's energy gear and there's like literally you never run out of things to do if you tried or if you wanted to. But now I'm going to talk about the last reason. And this reason is probably a theory in itself, but it is the most revealing when you're looking at Wizard 101. I call this the age theory, and it's when the game captures the attention of someone of a old or young age. For this example, I use young age because it's someone like me who got introduced to Wizard 101 when I was really young, like 12 years ago. So it's pretty crazy. It's been basically since the game's been out, I've been playing on and off. And then I included old age here also because representing like a teenager who might be ready to look for a game with more complexity or competitiveness, like Call of Duty series, League of Legends, Minecraft. I guess you can't even consider Minecraft has gotten pretty competitive, but these are just general games that have similar effects to Wizard 101 or even World of Warcraft 2. But when I was a kid, I was addicted to discovering the new zones and what the game had to offer. And you could relate this to the marketing Kingsville used. Their commercials, while looking back on them now, they're not the greatest. Back in the day, they seem to do the job really well. Like I wanted to play after watching a few commercials on TV, and it's pretty crazy to look at it like that. And I'm going to use a comparison here. Fortnite's launch of Chapter 3 the other day has had a very similar effect. Like, I don't understand, or I didn't understand why younger audiences still play a repetitive game like Fortnite. Like, it's the same thing every game. And, like, I guess you could say Wizards too. But I realized it's because of the story and the advertising that Fortnite's using. These kids, they just like to discover what the game has to offer. They don't really care about winning necessarily as much or like progression or speed running and all of that. They just like to see the storyline of the game. And that whether that's reading through the dialogue or just walking around and looking at it, because that's what I like to do. And I'll use this when a game grabs the attention of a kid and makes them excited. Going back to that game will sort of bring them like a nostalgia or like memories or fill the fix for the feelings they once had for that game. It sounds like a drug comparison, but I promise it's not. I'm saying that these games are just not common to find. I would put the age theory is pretty prominent in other games too. I already used a few examples, but I'm gonna list them all off again. Minecraft, World of Warcraft, Halo's been around for a while, Call of Duty's been around for a while. Well, these games get constant like new yearly updates or non-yearly, I guess for Halo, but they get updates, and the same audience that bought them 10 years ago was still buying them now. League of Legends as well. People have been playing for like 9 to 10 years now. That's just not common in video games. CS:GO has been around for so long too, and then now you have even Fortnite joining this list. As believe it or not, it's getting pretty old, and it's still a very popular game amongst more so youth groups. And on that, there's just so much more I could talk about, but it's really not easy to describe, and it's kind of hard to describe the urge you have to return to Wizard 101. But I guess that's why the game deals with magic. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos like this that deal with video game effects and other stuff too, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.